Hey everyone, we are back with our next video where we're going to try to make some progress adding more of the functionality for the different power-ups that you get for each level when you acquire the gauntlet magic for that level. And with me as always is Corey. Say hi, Corey.
Hey, how's it going?
Alright, so the first thing that we needed to do in order to start working on these new events, or the new code, so to speak, for this stuff, is to go to the spriter level. And I had to update the spriter file for the hero, because we added a few new animations for it, for the uppercut move when you have the level 1 flame gauntlet power-up. And the same thing for this explosion here. We only had the original sort of going straight up explosion, but for one of the powers you get with the fire gauntlet, I added a diagonally angled version of the explosion facing left and right upward. So I got those ready. Did you have a thought, Corey, or something to say?
No, I was just, I'll be happy to see how we get these moving. I think that'll help with when I do the actual animation, because
right.
I had thoughts about like how fast are these going to move and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that'll be fine for placeholder for the moment.
Well, these explosions will, theoretically, they won't move at all. They'll just be spawned where they're going to be, and the sort of movement is built into the animation. Like if you look here at the anchor point, it starts here, and then it's down here, and then further still, and then further still, so it's, you know.
Okay, so they'll just kind of come out.
Yeah.
Diagonal, like it.
Right, exactly. They'll just do their own thing. But that is always the case. Like, I just really did this as quick placeholder art, and just by manipulating, rotating in ProMotion, the existing straight up animation. But it's always good when you're working on a game, get it working as soon as you can with really rough, approximated artwork so that you're not wasting time in the art. And then you really finalize how it's going to move and behave and its general size and stuff like that in the actual gameplay to make sure it works well within the context of the gameplay. And then the artist should spend their time really perfecting it and making it nice. Like, that tends to be the fastest and safest. That way the programmer is not, or in this case eventer, is not waiting a long time for an artist to create really beautiful, perfect art before they can start making it work. And then the risk always is, if you do the art first and take your time to perfect it, you might have a wrong idea of how big it should be, how many frames it should take, and how it should, you might have the wrong idea of how it should move or something, and make the art according to those false premises, or that could be what is intended, and then you try it in game and it just doesn't work well and you have to change it, and now you have to totally replace nice art that the artist took a long time making. So in general, when sort of prototyping gameplay at the same time, it's great to be able to whip up really fast art to get it working and see if everything is according to plan, so to speak, or is good before anyone wastes a lot of time on perfecting the art for it. Anyway. Alright, so now that is in, I did realize there's one more thing that I think doesn't exist yet, which we'll get to later, which is the fireball that shoots downward that explodes.
Yeah, I made the graphics for it.
Awesome. Yeah, I just need to...
we can see how it looks. I may need to, tweak it some.
Yeah, we'll import that shortly, but the first thing I want to do is the really simple part. So, like I said before, it's always a good idea to have the spriter file open that you're going to be commanding or referencing in your construct project, because that way you can make sure you're getting the names exactly right. You can even do this and copy and then paste the name right into construct when you're doing that part. But these are the new animations that Corey did this nice fire effect for when you do the uppercut, when you have the fire. And then I just really quickly cloned those animations, and just for now in Spriter, let me get that out of the way. For now in Spriter, that's a bug. There we go. So for now in Spriter, I just scaled this like so to make the different power-up levels. And, just to get it working. And I also quickly scaled up the collision boxes as well. So anyway, so we've got uppercut fire 1, fire 2, and fire 3. And so that's the first thing we're going to do, is just make it so that if you have the fire power, we're just going to make it so that these different variants of the uppercut attack come out. So that's the first step. So let's see, back to the construct project, back to level 1. Control E, we're going to go into gameplay events, we're going to look for uppercut, because there's already the sort of universal, if you don't have the gauntlet power up yet, it's going to do the regular uppercut. So we want this exact code. Let's see, yeah, we're going to need all of those, so that's fine. And then we're going to clear search, we're going to go to level 1 events specifically. There we go. And then we'll just add it to the bottom for now. I'll tidy it up later eventually. Alright, so power type. Let's see. B2 is button 2. Oh, stuck a move. Okay, that's all the same. This is interesting. Power type. That should just be that should be power level. I think originally I thought I would need 2 variables, one power type that keeps track of if you have fire power versus electricity power and stuff like that. But it's not necessary, and I think I just ended up using it instead to represent power level. Oh no, because that's what firepower is. Interesting. Yeah, I think last time I crossed those two things, and it didn't matter because the value was always going to be 0 for the yeah. So it should have been firepower is equal to 1. So let's get back and fix that. So gameplay events, uppercut. And this should really be firepower equals 0. There we go. Alright. Back to level 1 events. Now firepower equals 1. We're going to change this to uppercut. I think I copied the... Nope, guess not. Let's try again.
Yeah, it's dash fire dash number.
There's that. And then we're going to need, if that animation is finished, that's all the same, and then uppercut 1. Spawn explosion.
Is there something we need to do to like disable the original uppercut code once this one?
No, that's a nice thing. Because of this here, firepower equals 1.
Oh, right.
The other one is firepower will be 0, so it won't take effect. Only this will take effect. But otherwise, that would be the case. But that variable handles that. All right, and so now we've just got the other variants of this, and we could do it with a bit of a formula, which would be pretty interesting. So I guess I'll try it with the formula. And what I mean by that, let's see if I can get this to work. So firepower is greater than 0. And then right here, set animation. We would do this, and then I think it's the and a symbol in construct. I might be wrong, I'll have to double check that, but I think it is. And then we need string, and then we need the actual firepower. Alright, see how that's going to work? Like this is going to, it's going to combine the string uppercut dash fire dash, and directly after that it's going to add the string version of the firepower value, which will be 1, 2, or 3. So that will assemble the required animation name. So theoretically that will work. We'll see. And then, however, with this, we will just make it an OR block, and we will do this and this.
I know we also sort of had the idea of making the uppercut go up a little higher,
right,
per power up or whatever, but I don't know if we want to bother with that at the moment.
Right. That would be another variable here that would be pretty easy. Thank you for mentioning it. So, like, let's say the lowest is negative 200, but then we're going to do plus, and then we're going to do firepower. Where is it? Firepower, and then times, which is the little asterisk there. Firepower times, we'll say 15. So it'll go up another 15 pixels per second with the firepower of 1, and then it'll be 30 pixels a second instead of 15 for firepower of 2, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So obviously we might need to tweak that number, but in general that makes sense. And then, so this is the only tricky one right here. We would just need to, let's see, what else is here? Alright, so we're going to make this, add blank sub-event, we're going to put that here, and we're going to make this an OR block, and we're going to drag this down here. So if the uppercut fire 1, 2, or 3 animations are playing, then it should do this stuff, and it should do this stuff. Alright, I think that is the nice tidy way to do it, where we don't have a copy and paste of each event for each firepower level. Alrighty, let's see how this works so far, or see how much we broke it. Alright, first we have to get the power-ups. Oops. Here it comes. There we go. Nice. I forgot about that cool power-up time freeze there. So, yep, it's displaying the flame uppercut. Yeah. That's good. And let's grab another one and see. Okay, there's a second one. It is bigger. Let's grab one more. Yep, that's the biggest one. Have to increase that. Yeah, the collision box needs to be at the bottom too, because it felt like it was going through them. So I need to fix that. Oh, that makes sense. Have to fix the formula. I have a power level of 4 now, and there's nothing to take care of that contingency, because the animation only goes up to 3. Mm-hmm. So this is how we fix that. The other thing that I did notice is that we should probably increase this number 15, because the extra amount you go upward wasn't really that noticeable between each power level, at least according to me. So let's increase that number, and then let's take care of that issue. So right here, now this is going to get trickier. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to do a minimum.
Did we decide? I mean, is that what we decided? Was it 4 power levels? I can't. I guess it does. It does go that high. I thought maybe it was just the 3, but yeah.
There's 3 visual representations of power level, but it goes up higher than that. Like like your regular magical effect that goes out beyond your fist when you punch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it shows its first power level and it doesn't come out much, and then the second power up, it comes out farther but doesn't change visually, and then the next one, it does change visually and goes out even farther still, and stuff like that. So it's just doing the same thing here, where it's going to, there's only going to be 3 visually distinct versions, but he's going to fly up higher with each power level, even if the graphic doesn't change.
Okay.
So if he gets a power level of 4, he'll go up further and faster, higher and faster when he does the uppercut, but the graphics won't change beyond the power level 3.
Right.
So at least that's what I recall, and we can always tweak that. Like, getting the logic working in the first place is the hard part. Tweaking it in those ways is pretty easy. Alright, so what we need to do is we're going to do another parentheses, and we're going to do minimum, and then it's going to be string minimum, and it's firepower, or I may have the syntax wrong for this. I'm going to check, and 3. So this means if firepower is 4, it's going to cap it at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a parentheses here, not a comma. Number. Okay. All right, I think that might be right.
Are you
Yep,
missing another parentheses at the end?
I sure am thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right, and then everything else should be unaffected and should be fine. So let's test this one more time with the higher jump. And last time I forgot to check before getting the power up if the uppercut works normally without the power. Yep, it sure does.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That seems to be going higher up than the other one, which should not be possible, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm just misremembering how high the other one went. Or it looked like it went lower because it had that big fire effect up above. Oops.
Right.
You win this round, Falcon. Alright, so there's the first level. Yeah, I guess it's the same. Yeah, I definitely need to fix that collision box in Spriter. Ah! Yeah, I'm not seeing a big difference at any point. Yep, go ahead.
He did seem to be going higher
with the regular one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Like, I must have done something wrong that I didn't notice, but we'll see. Are we already at the? Yeah, we're already at the highest.
Yeah, it
level.
doesn't look like he's even going up higher at all. With
It looks less, not higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did something wrong, but can't imagine how. But we'll figure it out.
I think I know what it is.
Yep, he won't go up at all now.
I think it's because the number is a negative number and you're adding to it. So
that's exactly right. So what we need to do is just do this.
Just a minus, yeah. Instead of a plus.
Yep. All right. That makes me think, though, that the regular uppercut is a bit too high to begin with.
Right, yeah.
So that's this one here. So we'll make that something like 180, I guess. We'll try that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Run this again. Yeah, it feels better. Yeah. Oops. Darn you. Ah. Clumsy. Every once in a while I miss the super jump. Alright, well, yeah, now he's going up, that's for sure. Now it's too much. 15 was probably closer to what it should have been. I can uppercut them right out of the air now, which is pretty cool. Oop. Yep, alright. It's definitely a little too high. It's fun though. Alright, so let's close that. I'll make this a tiny bit lower still so the difference is very clear. 75. And then we will go back to level 1 events. And I'm finally going to rename this because it's driving me nuts that it's not exactly the same naming convention as the other, so it's not in the right alphabetical order.
Alright.
Can I not move it? Huh. Maybe when I reload it, it'll fix itself. You know what I mean? Like the next time I load it. So let's see. Anyway, level 1 events. Uppercut. And we're doing this. And we'll try 15. Alright. Alright, well that's already quite high. So maybe 10 is better.
Well, maybe the initial 200 needs to come down a little bit too. Like,
well, I already brought that down to 175. Oh, you're right, and I forgot that formula. I forgot to change it there. Silly me. Good point.
What are you, Mario?
Yes, indeed. I like to think of myself as more Scrooge McDuck from the DuckTales NES games.
Ah, right.
Or Shovel Knight. Let's see here. Yes, so this. Good. I'm glad you're here. Always on the ball, pointing out the things that I should have noticed. So 175 was the what I had changed it to. Alright, there's no need in getting super nitpicky with the variables right now. We know the logic all works. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm going to stop recording for a second to find the new art you made for the downward fireball that the character can shoot. And also the look at what the animation is called in the spriter file and make sure I got my head around all that. And then that'll be the next thing we'll do to wrap up this video, is make the actual special move that overtakes, instead of the drop kick when you have the firepower, he'll actually kind of hover in the air and shoot a fireball like a meteor downward that'll explode when it hits the ground and shake the screen and all kinds of fanciness. Okay, so what we need to do now is create a new sprite in the spriter layout, which we are already here. And just double click in there, create a sprite from scratch. It's been a while since we've created a sprite from scratch. And I'm going to import frames from the sprite strip Corey made. And there is an effects folder, sprites effects. And it is this one here. And we'll let it know that it is 2. And replace. There we go. Very nice. And we'll just make that more like this. Apply to whole animation. And then let's see. For the sake of creating it, we'll make it something actually about like that. Apply to whole animation, and then we have to make sure the animation is looping, and we'll make the animation play faster. And we will call this, what is it, Meteor? Meteor?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's been a while since I've had to spell that word. Alright, so now we also need to add an instance variable to this called firepower. And we're going to add a behavior, which will be bullet. Let's just start typing in bullet. There we go. And 400, that'll be very fast at this resolution. We'll try 300. Set angle, no. And just to remind myself, because I always forget, once we need to do the code, we're going to have to set its angle. So I'm just going to rotate it to see what the angle is going to need. So 90. Okay. 90 is straight down. Remember that. Alright, so I'm going to save. And now we need to, yep, did you have a thought or a question?
Well, I mean, so it does rotate it by 90 by default, or?
No.
Because of the bullet behavior.
Considers,
right,
yeah.
right.
It considers the default angle when you spawn a bullet to be going straight from left to right. So it considers angle 0 to be pointing perfectly straight to the right.
Right.
So
okay.
I always forget because of that if it thinks this is 90 or this is 90. Like, I always forget.
Right.
So I just do that quickly to the sprite to remind myself. I can see that represents the angle, so straight down. Mm-hmm. And I can see that that's pretty much 90 because I'm doing it by hand. So just to remind myself what the angle movement is that I need. Like, if we were actually moving the explosions that come out on a diagonal, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd do something like this. And you see that line there from the pivot point to this white square?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be doing that so I could get a feeling for the motion, and I'd look at the angle.
Okay.
So I could set the movement, the bullet angle of movement to the proper angle. But anyway, so let's go back to level 1 events, and then we're going to go into gameplay events right now. Events, clear search, gameplay events, and now we're going to look at what is it? I think it's called Airbash. So, no, it's Dropkick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dropkick. Yeah.
So I'll just look for the word kick. Dropkick. Here it is. So this is the event, and then this. Yep. Those. Why? Oh, I'm holding caps lock instead of shift. All right. So grab that, and then. Oh, I should double check while I'm here. The same issue. Was I using the wrong variable? No, in fact, I don't check for power level, which is not good. So let's add that. Add another condition. Compare variable firepower. I mean, when I say power level equals 0. There we go. I'll recopy that. And then we're going to go back to level 1 events. Oh, good. Look, it fixed its order.
Nice.
All right, level 1 events. And then, so now we're going to paste that at the bottom. And, oh, it didn't recopy it when I tried to, I guess. No big deal. Oh, no, it did. It's just at the bottom and not the top. Greater than 0. So instead of the drop kick, he is going to go into the animation of, and we have the spriter file open, so we don't have to risk getting the name wrong. There we go. Oops. And then we are also going to set vector y to 0, and we are going to pause the movement. We're going to temporarily disable, where is that? set enabled or something like that. Set enabled. There we go. Disabled. Okay. And then this is going to be shoot downward is finished, and we're going to re-enable. Enable vector X, vector Y. That doesn't seem to have anything to do with this. Yeah, why would we be changing vector X on this? Yeah, we don't need that. But is there anything else we do need to do? It feels like, yeah, we're setting stuck in move, and he should definitely no longer be stuck in the move.
Right.
Stuck in move to 0. Alright. Let's see here. Okay, so that should make the animation happen once you have the firepower, but what's not happening yet is spawning the actual bullet. So in the spriter animation for shoot downward, right at the very beginning, if you right click, if you go anywhere in the timeline like so, then you right click anywhere in here, you can append an event trigger at the current time, which you've represented by clicking and dragging this pointer and red line. And then you could call, so example trigger, and you'll see it adds a keyframe for that event trigger at that spot. We don't want to do that, of course. I was just showing you, but I already added one previously called shoot fire, and it's right at the beginning of the animation, and you can also see there's a spawning point there, which is called point_000. So what we are going to do is say, oops, no, we need to go into the, I think he's called player. Nope, not player. Is he hero? Yes, hero spriter object on event triggered, and it was all caps, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was
fire.
shoot fire. Yeah.
Shoot fire. So if that is triggered, then what we're going to do is spawn an object. So we're just going to create object, and it's going to be the meteor. Oops. It's always level FG, and then it's going to be the same. Oh, actually, we have a spawning point, so we're going to use the spawning point in hero, that, and then object X, object Y. So object X, the name of the object is, and this is the other great reason to have the spriter object open, I can just double click there to get the exact name. And I think it needs to be in quotes like this. That's typical in construct. If it's a string, it needs to be in quotes. And then object Y, same thing, same name, in quotes. And then we also need to set that meteor we just created. We need to set its angle of motion in bullet. Set angle of motion, and it was 90. So that'll make sure it's moving downward. And then we also know we're going to need events. And for now, I'm just going to make it not... Oh yeah, the other thing, come to think of it while it's on my mind. Meteor. We're going to immediately set the value, firepower of the meteor, to match the firepower of the player himself. Okay. Save my progress. So now we just need it so that when the meteor collides with the actual floor, so it hits the ground, then we are going to, for now, we'll just do the basic one where it's just one explosion, and then once we see that all working properly, triggering the animation, shooting it out, hitting the ground, then we'll polish it off with the nice screen shake, and obviously eventually we'll be adding sound effects to all this stuff too. But let's see here. So the first thing we need to do is spawn the explosion. So is it explode, or I know I came up with some goofy name for the explosion. Explosion? Yeah, explosion.
Yeah, explosion.
Explosion. Let's see. Oh, no, I want this. Create. Oh, no, actually, it'll be easier to spawn it from the meteor. In this case. But yeah, actually, because I'm going to copy and paste it later. Sorry about my double guessing myself, but because I'm going to copy and paste this action to place the other ones when you have the bigger power-ups, it'll be a little easier if I just do a create instead of a spawn from a specific object. So that'll make sense later. So we are creating explosion at layer FG, and we're in this case it's just going to be at the meteors. Oops,
Yeah, I was considering doing sort of similar to how we have the flaming bird or whatever,
right?
Doing the fire effect for like the humanoid birdmen or whatever. Like if you powered it up high enough or something like that, might be neat. But yeah, I don't know if it's necessary.
Yeah, it's definitely all those kinds of nice touches and stuff should definitely be the stuff we consider once everything is working a little better. Sorry, I'm a little distracted at this second. Hold on, I can't think. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why. Because I know I created the anchor point of the meteor image, sort of up near the top of it, which is the tail end of it. Mm-hmm. But the explosion shouldn't appear up at the tail end of it. It needs to show up lower.
Right.
But it's not that big. We can just do Y. We'll just do plus 30. We'll guess it for now and tweak the number once we see it.
Okay.
So when it hits, we create the explosion. Is it as simple as Quake? Yeah, okay. So we'll just, there. Now it'll shake the screen. And then we need to get rid of the actual meteor. Mm-hmm. So that, and then we just go under miscellaneous and we destroy it. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this all works. So the first thing to test is it should just be the regular drop kick if I don't have a power. Yep, okay. Mm-hmm. That works. And now I need to earn the power level. Awesome. And then let's see. Yeah, it worked, but he doesn't stay in that. He's supposed to stay in that animation.
Right.
That's pretty cool, though. Definitely works. But he's supposed to hang in the air and play the animation, so we need to figure out why that is not happening. So I'm sure there's an event in the universal gameplay. Ooh, he stayed in the animation for some reason that time. For longer.
Maybe that's due to the flipping of the sprite.
No, it's not due to the flipping of the sprite. It's because there's an event that says if he on falling. So if I wait till he's already falling, then it keeps the animation the way it's supposed to. But that on falling doesn't check apparently if he's stuck in move.
Right.
So if we look, when we go shoot down, we do set stuck in move 1. But, so let's look in gameplay events, and we'll do fall. Stuck in move equals 0, send animation to fall. Okay, that's good. On fall. Okay, that should not be a problem. Or maybe something else somehow is making him not stuck and move anymore?
Yeah, what are the conditions for playing that animation, that shooting?
Stuck and move. Like I might have something that is overzealous at removing stuck and move.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm checking that now. Set animation to hit. Hit finished. Uppercut finish. Get gauntlet finish. Nope. Those are all fine. So let's go back to level 1 events. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't think when he's jumping, he's stuck and move though, right? Like that's only for like when he's punching and stuff.
Yeah. Specifically, when shoot downward is triggered, we set stuck and move. And nothing else should be setting stuck and move to 0 at that point until he's done playing the animation.
What is that?
Look, here it is.
Up down variable.
Look, this is not supposed to be on is current animation. This should be on animation finished. That's the problem.
Right.
Replace condition. This is hero. And on animation finished. And this is shoot downward. Yep, okay. Shoot downward. Shoot downward. Good. No typos. Shoot downward. Shoot downward. Looks good. That should have been the cause of the problem. Let's see what happens.
Right.
I think, and keep an eye on it, because I might get distracted by getting my butt kicked by these birds, but make sure everything else is functioning, like the screen shake, and if we get really lucky, maybe we can get the... Let's see if we could hit the bird. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's what we need to do. Sorry if that was loud in the microphone. We need to also make it so that the explosion, we need to set a variable to make that explosion hurt the enemies. See how it just goes right through them? But the screen does shake. It does work. He does stay stuck in the animation now. That's all excellent. And then we could just tweak the... Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
he doesn't go back to fall, which is super easy to fix. Okay, so let's do that first. Shoot downward finished. We're just going to right here. We're going to set his animation to fall, and we just need to get that exact animation name here, FALL lowercase. That's easy enough. That fixes that one. And then the other issue was what now? What was the other thing?
Oh, it's so the explosion damages enemies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it collides.
So when you shoot it and you set its movement and you set its firepower, all we have to do is do explosion. We just spawned it, so it'll know which one we're talking about, and we're going to set its value. And I created a hurt enemy value, and we'll set that to 1. So now it should also hurt the enemy. So the only thing that's weird now is when you when you shoot the fireball, it'll go through any enemy from the top. It won't blow up. So what we can do though is make it so that it hurts or destroys any enemy that it hits, but it keeps going through them. Because I think we want this move to always make it to the ground and do the explosion. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh no, it still didn't hurt him. Interesting. Let's see, why not? Oh, look. Yep, this is the wrong place. Silly me. This is where we create the explosion, not here.
Right.
So that was a very simple mistake. All right, that should work, but we're also at some point just need to create an event that hurts the air enemies and the other thing with the... But first we'll check this and make sure this fixed it. Oh, it certainly should have. Famous last words for programming. This definitely fixed it. Alright. Can still do the regular drop kick until I get the gauntlet power. Gauntlet power activated, and then... Oops, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to wait for the next one. It is really fun, though, to send enemies flying into the ones below. Oh, it still didn't hurt them. What's going on? Like I said, famous last words.
Does the explosion have like a collision rectangle on it, or?
Yeah, by default, when you create objects, they do, and then you can just edit them, and you can turn off whether or not they have collisions, so that so that Construct doesn't waste time worrying about collision shapes of stuff that never check for collisions. But I know I used this before for when you parry back. I'll bet you the event is only being used specifically, so it's called hurt enemy. So let's double check in gameplay events. Yeah, that's the problem. So in gameplay events, hurt enemy. Yeah, so it doesn't use it, but I'll bet you if we go to the snow level, which is that level 2? Yes, it is. Okay, so now if we go into these events and we do hurt enemy, there you go. So, and this is specific for Ram Man, what else? Owl stuff. Where is... here it is, flying enemy. Okay, so this one is universal. Hurt enemy. So this we can just completely remove from here. Yep, this we can just completely remove from here. Oh, I gotta be careful though, because see how that has something else to it? So 96. Right. Let's look and make sure it doesn't have anything specific to the level. So 96. Nope, that just creates the stuff.
Has some owl stuff and the grenade stuff.
Yeah, right here, the sub event. Yeah. I don't even know what this is. Oh, for the grenade. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But we can copy this.
Unrelated.
We can copy this, but we should not completely replace it. However, actually, that won't matter because there will never be grenade sprites in there.
Right.
So, yeah, we can actually just make this. We can move it right into the universal events. So that will fix it for the falcons that get hit by it, but that does not fix it yet for... Did I do that right? Yeah, I put it in gameplay events, right? Yeah. But we need, so hurt enemy. So this. Alright. And we're going to put this into level 1. Level 1 events. Make sure I'm in level 1 events. I think I am. Yep. Okay. So we're going to paste this in. And we're going to replace object Ram Man with Birdman. And then we're going to, I guess, copy and paste it. Replace object Birdman with Birdman alt.
Now, is that gonna hurt enemies with any explosion?
No. See right here, hurt enemy equals 0. So the value of that particular explosion must be set to hurt enemy, which tells it that particular explosion is set so it hurts enemies.
Gotcha.
Other explosions created by enemies or just an enemy dying that never gets set to hurt enemy equals 0, so that particular explosion will not hurt anybody.
Okay.
Or won't hurt. It'll hurt. So there's hurt player and there's hurt enemy. And you can turn it on or off for each explosion when you spawn that explosion. But very good question. Alright, so...
Oh, wait, you've got...
Ram Man, I see that.
Yeah, you've still got Ram Man.
Alright, awesome.
And I think there's some conditions at the bottom that say Ram Man, too.
Alright, I will double check on that. So we need to go into Ram Man sprites. And it's this box here. And we're going to go into Birdman sprites. And... let's see... Yep, this one, and then this is for the alt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where does it say?
What's that? Yeah, it's that first. It's overlapping.
Oh, Birdman alt. Yep. Okay. Okay. Replace object. So this is again Ramman sprites, or is it Ramman alt? Ramman entity. Okay, so Ramman sprites. That makes me worry. In the other code for the Ramman, am I checking Ramman entity instead of Ramman alt for Ramman version 2? If there is I think there is a second version of the Ramman. I gotta double check, because I think there's one with a weapon and there's one that lobs the grenade or something like that.
Well, remember too that, oh yeah, because you did the explosions from the grenades. I guess that's what it's for.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Alright, I think this is all good. Yep.
Oh yeah, that looks right. Yeah.
Alright, so let me see. Let's see if this is working. But then we still have the issue of the actual meteor itself. We'll still go through his head without hurting him, which is kind of weird, to say the least. Alright. I always feel like saying, I have the power, when he does that move up in the sky there when he grabs the power up. Alright, let's get a ground enemy here. There he is. There, that hit him. That worked. Alright, so
I guess the question is, do we want the meteor hitting the guys, or do we like it just being the explosion? I mean,
yeah,
it does go through the birds.
Yeah,
though.
it's got to at least blow up the flaming enemies at the very least.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think I'm fine with it because it moves so... Found a bug. That was cool.
Stuck in move, maybe?
Yeah. No, it's not stuck in move. It's, he got interrupted. If, for example, if you get hit, I don't know if that's what happened, but something... you remember how we disable the platform movement?
Right.
What re-enables the platform movement is him finishing the shoot downward animation. But if he gets hit or any other thing happens that interrupts that animation never finishes. So the disabling of the platform movement behavior never gets re-enabled.
Right.
So we need to make sure that whenever we're setting the player stuck and move back to 0 for any reason, or just in general, if he's not playing the animation that disables the platform movement, we need to make sure it gets turned back on.
Right.
But I'll worry about that. Like, that's a pretty trivial thing to hunt down and fix. But right now, I just want to deal with the bigger issue, which was what were we just dealing with before?
The meteor actually colliding
with the birds.
With enemies.
With flying enemies. Okay, so we just did. Oh no, we did not. I think we put the explosion. Yeah. So we just added this. Let's see. It makes them blow up, which is exactly what we want. So we'll just take this and we'll put it into level 1 events. We'll go down here and we're going to replace object explosion. Oh, okay, we can't do that. I can do it. Yeah, that's why. Now I should be able to replace object explosion with, does that make sense? Because I was checking specifically for the variable in explosion called hurt enemy.
Right.
No other sprite has a variable called hurt enemy. So it said you can't replace this. Basically no other sprite has a variable with that name. So let's see. We're going to replace it with meteor. So meteor. Oh, that's funny. That would have worked fine, but I'm also spawning an explosion there. So all right, that's fine. I will just, let's see. Yeah, that's the only contingent, the only problem. So I can just select this now and replace it here. Okay. What were you gonna say?
Nothing. No.
There we go. And when it spawns, by default, its value of hurt enemy or hurt player is 0, so it won't accidentally spawn a explosion that'll hurt you or hurt other enemies or anything like that. So I think that, and then we don't need this, obviously.
Yeah.
This is just to kill flying enemies. All right, so let's see if this part works. Let's see, on the level, did I pick the right level, or am I in the spriter or the wrong level or something? No, it's good. Alright, let's get those power-ups. Oops. Alrighty. We need a low-flying one. Take that. Oh, yeah, I've really got to fix that. Okay.
Nice.
Fix those collision wrecks. It'll feel a lot better. Come on, I need a low-flying one. There we go. That worked. Alright, awesome. Yeah, I think that's good as far as the general functionality. Oh, we'll test it on him too.
I'm wondering though, like, well, no, it goes through him. Yeah, this should. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
What, the Birdman on the ground?
I was considering like maybe it should stop, but I like that it goes all the way to the ground.
Yeah, especially
even when it collides. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea is it's like so powerful and with such inertia that it's just going to rip through a basic enemy. Like all the flying enemies are pretty What just happened?
Just the fact that you shot 2 of them was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, like I can machine gun them. Yeah. We can create a like once this all works, we can create cooldown periods so that you can't just spam stuff like this. That's the same issue.
Yeah.
So like that's really easy to do, to make sure like you can only do it like maybe twice maximum while in the air if you're really high up, and that there has to be at least a couple full seconds in between. You know what I mean? Because like maybe you want to jump really high, do it here, and then fall here and do it here.
Right.
And we just need to decide, do we let them? Because obviously the problem is if you literally hang up in the air forever doing this, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Hadouken! Alright, so... Alright, let's see. Alright, so now the thing to do is find this, and we will add a blank sub-event, and we're going to say this will always happen, actually. Excuse me. All right. So when it collides, we're always going to shake the screen for sure. And now we're going to do if the... Yeah, this is going to be kind of fancy. We're going to make this an OR block. And we're going to say, add another condition. If firepower is 1, or if it's greater than 2. So it's not 2, it's 1, and obviously it's not 0. So, this should be, oh no, that's fine, equals 1, or, wait a minute, what am I doing? That's not, greater than 2. There we go, sorry. If it's 1 or greater than 2, so not 2, not 0.
Right.
Then we create that centralized explosion. But what we need to also do is, now if it's 2, and we're going to make this no longer an OR block, so we turn that off. We say power level equals 2, so change this to equals. So if it's 2, what we're going to do is we're going to create 2 of these side by side. So we're going to literally do this, and we're going to do like minus, we'll say 30, and we might have to tweak this, and then plus 30. So we're creating 2 of them side by side, spaced out. And we're setting each of them to hurt enemy.
And we do have the larger explosion too, remember?
Graphic. We do. For now, I just want to do it this way with the always the smaller one, but it's either one of them 2 side by side, or 3 with 1 in the middle and 2 going off diagonally. I want to see how that looks first, and then we can decide if we need to get any fancier or use the bigger explosion. I don't even remember, do we use the bigger explosion for anything, or had we put it in there specifically for this? We may have put it in specifically for this, and if that's the case, then...
we're using it somewhere. I think it might have been for when the flaming birds hit the ground or something.
Interesting,
something like that.
We'll have to take a look. But for now, this'll be good. And then so now we need to do firepower is greater than 2. So now what we're going to do is create the central one, which already happens. So now we've got these ones that are on the sides, which is perfect. But we need to space them out even more. So we'll do like 50, and then the other thing we need to do in Splosion is we're going to change its animation to left, put that up here, and this one we set it to right. Hopefully I don't have that backwards, and let me quickly go in the spriter and double check uppercase left, uppercase right. Okay. That should be good, so theoretically it collides. Oh, look at that. Remember how I created that variable for the meteor itself to keep the firepower? And here I am checking the actual character's firepower, which defeats the purpose of that value and what that was going to fix. So I need to replace condition, and I need to be checking the meteor's firepower. Meteor firepower equals 1 or is greater than 2. Greater than 2 and then equals to, and then greater than 2. All right. Yep, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So when it's greater than 2, it spawns the.
It always does
extra
this
side
one.
explosions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
So it'll be, yeah. So this will be the maximum power level, even if you get extra things for this power. Let me see. But we could always tweak that. We can always make it maybe make the central explosion show the bigger one if you get even more power or something like that. Let's see if this works.
Okay.
So first it's a drop kick. That works. Oops, missed him.
Yeah, and I think we'll have to also add the code to have those side explosions hurt enemies as well, or something like that.
No, they already. They already so now
do?
I have the second power level. So now it should do 2 side by side. Great, but they're too spaced out. See, they work. And then the other one's going to be way too spaced out. Did I just get another one? No. Okay. But in a moment, there we go. Look at that. Was it doing the left? Yep, it did the diagonals too. So they're just spread out way too far, but that's really cool.
Okay. So
in fact, ooh, that's what we can do. We can make the variable spread out these explosions more the more power you get.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's even
kind of like a chain effect or something.
Well, I'm thinking maybe it's actually worth making the animations actually kind of slide sideways, like at a faster speed, depending on the since they're animated to explode diagonally, that could actually look fine.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I love that idea. Actually, I think we can pull that off. All right. So, but what we're going to need to do is ask ourselves, do we want to add a bullet behavior to the explosions themselves, or do we just want to add left to right movement variable and say if the animation is playing, then and that value is set to something, then move it that value every 50th of a second or 60th of a second, or something like that. I think I'll just do it that way.
Yeah,
instead
it seems
of adding a bullet behavior.
Yeah.
So, all right. So before diving into the extra events to make them move, let's just quickly fix this overzealous spacing so far. And so we'll make them start at, we'll cut that in half, 15, so now they'll only be 30 pixels apart, 15, and then here, we'll make it something like, maybe 30, but we'll try 25,
Okay.
25. But what we are going to do is we're going to go into the spriter layout. We're going to find the explosion. We're going to add yet another fancy custom variable called xMoveMe. Okay. And when we spawn, so it's going to level 1 events. Down here, level 1 events. So as we are doing the spawning, specifically once we have 2 side by side, or especially the third one, this is when they're going to start moving sideways.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go into explosion, and we're going to set that value xMoveMe to be formula, which will be meteor firepower times and then some number, which has got to be a pretty damn small number because we're going to move it that many pixels every 60th of a second. Right. So I'm going to try a very low number for now. Even, no, that could work. Let's try 3. Right. So that's going to be, this is the one actually on the left. So that should be -3. There should be a negative number. So we'll make that -3. And then this one should be a +3. And then same thing here. These are the two diagonal ones. So negative. Yep, same thing. So +3. All right. So now they should. Oh yeah. Well, now we need the code that actually moves them. Silly me. All right. So we're going to add an event, and it's going to be explosion, and it's going to be comparing its variable. XMoveMe is not the same, is not equal to 0. So long as that is the case, we're going to add another condition, and we're going to say every x seconds, and it's going to be 0. I'm bad at math. Is that every 50th of a second?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll try that. And then we are going to change the x position. We're going to set its x to its own x. But then plus, and it won't matter because that number, move x, is either negative or minus. So this will work in either case. And then we're just doing move x. So now they should move. All right, time to test. Nope. It's been a while. Alright, so let's see.
Quit showing the secret level.
Yeah, exactly. Just before the beloved ending of all great games and movies, it was all a dream.
Right.
Way to make that's the best way to make players happy. The whole thing was completely irrelevant. There was actually never any danger. The victory meant nothing. Oh, I should have been testing this, but... Oh, weird. I thought I got 2 power-ups. But I guess not. I need to pay more attention. Oops. Oh, I'm stuck in the air again. I need to do a move that'll unstick me. There we go. Okay. Now that I'm almost dead. Got to fix that bug at some point. Okay, so now I've got 2 for sure. Whoa! Okay, it's way too fast, but it works. One thing that's weird, though, is why is one getting spawned higher than the other? That should not be the case. I must have accidentally changed the wrong number. Oops, I died while I was virtually overlapping the heart. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay, so they're moving way too fast, which is going to be a problem. So when we are creating them, that 3 is, we'll just do, wait a minute, Birdman, why? What is this? Oh no, that's not it. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, what was that variable called? XMoveMe?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. Set XMoveMe, here we go. Okay. So we'll just get rid of the fancy formula there. Oh, but we do need it to be positive or negative, and that's a -1 times -1, and then this will be just on its own, so a positive number. Same thing here, times -1, and then a positive number. So that should work. That cuts the speed to 1/3 the speed, but even that's going to be too much, I think. But we can always just reduce this a bit by increasing that number. So we could try this, right? Dropkick works. First power level. Okay, that's great. Oh, good. Okay. That was fun. Alright, so now I have the second power level. Alright, that's better, but still too much. And there's still that weird thing of their heights being different. I need to check what I messed up there. But let's see the third one just to see how drastically different it spreads out. There we go. Right. It's cool, but it definitely spreads out too much still. But at this point, it could just be a matter of tweaking this number. Make it half again as much. Half as frequently. Alright, let's look carefully at the Y's. I must have messed up. See, Y15.
Right.
Dumbass. Is it plus 15 or is it always... Yeah, it is, right?
If you wanted to move up some, it would be minus, right?
Yeah. I just did 15 again like an idiot. Plus... No, it's always plus. So, but it's supposed to be plus 30, not plus 15. I was overzealous in my changing these numbers to 15 that I accidentally changed.
Yeah, but isn't vertical movement negative?
Yeah.
Like if you go up?
Yeah, but the hotspot on the meteor is up high.
Right.
So we wanted to move it down.
Yeah,
Right,
so
yeah.
it's... Yeah.
We might still need to tweak that 30 number. That might be too aggressive.
Right.
It might move it down too much, which I think it does. But now at least they're all even, so it's just a matter of tweaking the number instead of having like broken logic because I accidentally changed one number when I thought I was changing another number. There. This one there's no need to test because it doesn't move. Yep, so it's definitely getting hit. When you recover from getting hit, we need to make sure we turn back on platform movement, so that's easy. Alright, nice.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. It's a bit more than I... Oh, come to think of it, if we're doing that, we should use the diagonal animation for those as well, I guess.
It looks like the left one is not as far out as the right one for some reason on the two. I don't know why.
Yeah, that shouldn't be possible, but I mean, maybe there's another number I messed up and didn't notice. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So we're really close, but I don't like the fact that the movement is getting noticeably choppy. So I'm going to cut that back in half, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to...
Oh, you didn't change that one to 15. It's still x plus 30, the one you've got selected there. That's why. That's the difference of the
one I have
create
select?
object. Yeah, see where it says meteor x.
Oh, here?
Plus 30. See, you did minus 15, but then you've got plus 30 on the other one. So that's
a good one.
Yeah.
So I must have changed the what? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you just changed
Makes
one and
perfect
forgot to
sense.
change
Okay.
the other. Yeah.
Thanks for spotting that. So now what I was going to do is here we're going to do times 0.5. Actually, it's going to be even less than that. We'll do 0.3, and then this will be times 0.3, and then same thing with this, negative 0.3, and times 0.3. Okay. After this, we just need to fix that last issue with the getting hit gets you stuck up in the air.
Right.
And I think that'll be a good amount of progress for this video without the video getting too long. Alright. Oops. Oh, need another power level. There. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That feels very not too fast, not too spread out. There's the other power level. Nice. That's what I'm after.
Yeah.
That looks good. Yeah, that feels really. That's really fun, actually. All right. Okay, so that's all good. What do you think? I think we should set the animation to left and right on these two now that they move left and right.
Yeah.
Even when there's not one in the middle. Alright, so left and right. Okay, and the last thing is the hit. So, I certainly assume that's in gameplay events. Hit. And he is hero. Alright, let's check 20. What does 20 have to say about it? 20. Alright, nope, that's just mirroring. So let's try hit again. Hit finished. Oh no, that's an enemy. Okay, I need hero. On hit finished, see right here, stop ignoring input, but what we also have to do is just hero, oh no, not hero, player. We need to re-enable. There we go. That should do it, and it makes sense to me if, like, maybe the this won't take effect if this isn't enabled in the first place. I don't think so, but just to make sure.
Right.
It's more logically coherent, so to speak. All right, and let's just quickly test that, and I think we're good. Oops. Oh yeah, I'm trying to get hit while I'm, let's see. I'm getting hit while doing this, okay. Let's try that again, that was sloppy. Okay, that
Yeah, it
worked.
seems to work.
Yeah. Let me think. Yeah, the only thing that was weird about it was when he played the hit animation, because that is still disabled, he didn't bounce like he's supposed to. He didn't get that X velocity and stuff didn't take effect the way it was supposed to.
Right.
So what we can do is hit So whenever the player set animation to hit, let's see. Birdman, set animation. So anytime we do stuff like this, in fact, we could just have something that, yeah, no, I think it's best to add it in here to enable the player set enabled to enabled. Alright, so basically anytime we see where we are doing something like vector and we're changing his animation to hit, so keep an eye out for hero set animation to hit. Birdman doesn't count. Birdman, hero set animation to hit. Alright. And there might be other edge cases in level specific event sheets, but we can always just quickly, we'll know what the problem is when we see that occur, and we'll just add that set enabled. Is Birdman alt. Alright, I think that's it. Alright, so this one last test and then we're done as long as it solved the problem.
Okay.
Alright, so here we go. I have to get the power first, or I can't do that move. Here it comes. Okay. Nice. He still didn't have any... That was weird. I
mean, he is bouncing up in the air.
Yeah, but he's just not moving left or right. He should be bouncing in the opposite direction. I think that's the way it usually is. Like, I'll just get hit in general without doing that move and see how it behaves. I'll just jump up in front of a bird. Maybe I'm wrong, like in front of a falcon. Alright, so... Yeah, see, he kept to that. See, he got moved back. Yeah, so that's not happening. So, maybe there is, though, like I said, it could simply be a matter of... Birdman entity, Birdman, alright, let's see. Alright, so here, Birdman... Let's make sure we're enabling every time he gets hit. And I'll bet there's one for the bird itself. Birdman alt. Hero. That's for Birdman alt. What about for regular birds? No. Not yet. Birdman. Alright, I paused it for a second. I think we found it right here, specifically for getting hit by flying enemies. We missed the event in the gameplay events, the sort of universal events, for getting hit by flying enemies. And you can see here we missed adding a enabling the platform movement. So this, and famous last words once again, this should fix it. Let's find out. And longtime viewers should know, after I've said the first time, and that should end the video, there's about 15 minutes to a half hour left in the video. Alright, let's see. There, that's what I wanted to see. Alright. Yeah. That's great. Alright, that will do it for this one. I'm just going to quickly get the other power up to... Yeah, that's looking great. I'm really liking how it's working. Once we get some sound effects, very nice. And maybe we'll make that a a goal for the next video, on top of adding other new features, we'll just add in that sort of cool-off thing to fix so you can't spam just keep freezing yourself in the air and doing the air bash and this other move, this new move we just added. But that will do it. I'll just end it quickly. Thanks, as always, Corey, for not only making the video more lively, but spotting all the stuff that I did not spot, and just being so on the ball for it. And thanks, everyone, for watching.